This is for teachers. If you're a teacher looking for information on Tourette Syndrome, it's out there. The TSFC has so many resources that you can tap into. But there's something that you need to do for you. I know the classroom's difficult. You're probably sat there thinking, how am I going to manage that child in my class? Most classes have so many kids, probably with IEPs of some sort. Those support plans are so important, and you're held accountable to them, and you know you're doing your best to meet that child's needs. And now you have a child with Tourette. They need that same support. I know what it feels like. 4 of my boys have IEPs, and I manage their IEPs. I partner with the school. I'm involved. It's very important to be involved. You need to do this. You need to connect with that mom. When that mom comes in and says the child has Tourette, you need to say, okay. Not, no they don't. You need to just say, okay. Let them tell their story. Let them explain how it impacts their lives, their family, their home life. Because you can't have balance if you're not balanced at home. You'll never educate that child if they don't have family balance. Take it back to the classroom. What are you going to do for you? You need to know what is Tourette. How's it going to impact their learning? The other thing you need to know is that Tourette is really just the tics. In the classroom, you need to understand the comorbidity of ADHD, OCD, executive dysfunctioning, which is the ability to keep them organized, sensory issues, things that are going to impact where you place that child in the classroom. They're hypersensitive to noise. They're hypersensitive to touch. All those things are things that you need to know. But where are you going to get that information? Trust me, the mom knows that child. Trust the child to be honest in how they feel. Ask the questions. Some of the biggest obstacles that we've faced as parents, and I say we because I talk to a lot of parents, and I also talk to a lot of teachers. The biggest obstacle we come up against is a teacher who feels that they've read the book, so they know how now to accommodate that child. But there's a huge difference between the teacher who read the book and the teacher who read the book but gets it. That child is a child. That child wants to be successful. That child will do his or her best if they can, and that's the problem. Sometimes they just can't, and they will tell you, I can't stop it, I can't focus. You need to believe them. It's never motivation. These kids rarely had intrinsic motivation. It's typically external. They don't understand why it's so important to do things. They don't get the why, and sometimes you need to provide the why. So don't be shocked if you have a child in your class who has Tourette, and you can motivate them with a sticky note, a cardboard box, a paper clip, something simple. They just need that token to give them a reason why they need to open the book. You might sit there and go, this is not possible, but that's what happens. These kids rarely can do things because they feel the personal desire to do it. They spend their day coping. They spend their day coming into the classroom and their cup is almost full. You add the expectations of the classroom and their cup can spill over quite quickly. Could be the minute they walk in the door. They might have spent 5 minutes fighting over which sock goes on which foot. Turn it inside out so they don't feel the ridge. These are things that we deal with every day. But as a teacher, you'll never understand if you don't connect with that mom, that dad, and you don't connect with that child. You need to ask the questions and you need to not assume, and you will get the answers if you ask the right question. That child will always be honest with you if you give them the opportunity to connect. Connecting is when you'll engage them.